Hey everybody, it's Jenny Bungarvey, and I thought I would share with you how I planned next week in my Classic Happy Planner. First, this is a look at this week. This is how I use my work planner. It's a mini dashboard, and then I also use a mini little bookmark as well because I love that you can still see around it, but I'm able to combine my work planner and my personal planner at the same time, which is pretty darn awesome. Now this was a sticker kit from Sweet Kawaii Designs, and I just thought it was super cute and very wintry, and I am going to do something similar for next week. You can see I already have this pre-planned with my sticky notes. That's what I do so that I can keep track of all the things that I need to do and yet still go back and add them a little bit cuter. I also allow myself to use whatever handwriting I'd like on the sticky notes so that I can practice different types. So sometimes you'll see cursive or, you know, like scratchy print just so that I can try that out and see if there's something there that like I want to practice. This week I'm going to use these two sticker sheets from Shine Sticker Co. I just thought they were adorable, and I, for so long, have only been using Happy Planner stickers again, and I thought, you know what, let's give some of these other cute designs a try. And side note, Shine Sticker Co. now has not necessarily these stickers, because I got these from her online shop, but she has stickers in Michael's too, so that's really, really fun. There's some washi, some half boxes, and then these decorative full boxes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this week, and I'm going to kind of look at how, I don't want to say how things are, but kind of how things are, right? So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out, and I'm actually going to stamp on this layout. Now I know not everybody is a stamper, and that's okay. Sorry, I wasn't planning on stamping. This just came to me right now, and so let's take a look. All right, so I'm going to use these alphabet stamps from Citrus Twist, and they're really, really cute. I love these a lot, and they're not enormous either. They're kind of small, in fact. So what I'm going to do is I need my clear block. Sorry, it's a lot of noise, isn't it? Okay, my clear block, and then I'm going to, actually I'm not going to use this clear block. I'm going to use a smaller clear block. All the while, I'm kind of checking out, I'm thinking that what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this pink, this is a Prima chalk edger. I will link this up for you in the notes below. These are a chalk ink, which is pigment ink. It'll take a little bit longer to dry, so I'll need to be a little bit more careful, but they come in a wide variety of really pretty colors. Now I'm going to go backwards. I often stamp backwards. I don't know why. It's just kind of how my brain works, I guess. And I'm going to ink this up. Let me pull out a baby wipe. Now it's not necessary. Now, one of the things about not doing voiceovers is that everything is noisier as I do it than it is with a voiceover, so I feel really bad for the extra noise. Anyway, one of the things about that is that you don't have to stamp off that excess ink. It's just that I'm really messy, and so I know I'll end up with excess ink everywhere if I don't just go ahead and take care of it. So I'm just adding enough ink, not too much, not too little. I'm giving firm, even pressure. If you press too hard, it's just not going to look good. And it's not about, truthfully, I don't really care because I'm not a perfectionist, but I don't want it to look bad either. So you give it firm, even pressure, and then you will get the best results. Now, pigment ink, if you haven't watched any of my stamping videos before, pigment ink is the best ink to use in your planner, in my opinion, because it doesn't bleed through. It sits on top of the paper. So yes, it will take a little bit longer to dry, but it doesn't bleed through. Dye-based ink dyes the paper, so it soaks right in and it dyes those fibers. So you definitely have a chance that you might have bleed through to the back. Now with pigment ink, you could have a little bit of shadowing. I don't, A, care, and B, typically don't have a problem with that. Some ink pads, like actually, for example, I have a Versa Clair yellow that for whatever reason, I always have a lot of shadowing, but I don't care at all. The yellow ink is so gorgeous that it's really no big deal to me at all. And bonus, you can usually just cover it up the next week. So again, I'm just using a Huggies baby wipe. These are the ones that I found that I like the best. They don't have a lot of lint that gets on the stamps, and then they also have a little bit of texture on them, and so they clean off. I just like the way that they wipe the ink off the stamps, but it's completely personal preference what you can get your hands on, those types of things. I tried some baby wipes from Aldi once, and I didn't love them because they left a lot of lint on the stamp, and so then I had to use extra time to clean all that lint off. So all right, so there you go. I have that on there. Now I know that my sons have a baseball game that day, but I don't know the date or the time, or obviously I know the date. Duh, that's so stupid. I know the time, but I don't, or oh my gosh, start over. I know the, you know what I'm trying to say, people. Okay, so anyway, I will go ahead and leave a sticker right there for that, but I'm not going to write anything on there because I don't know any information beyond that. Now what I am going to do is I have these cute little icon stickers, and I don't know if she still makes these. They're from Libby & Company. I have had these stickers for years. I'm not at all exaggerating. But she probably still has them. I just think they're really, really cute. I'm going to add one right there. And it will also remind myself that I need to, sorry, I'm distracted by my stamps. I'm going to use that for a baseball game. Okay, so now I'm wiping off this other stamp. It was sitting on my desk literally since last week when I planned. And okay, one of the other tricks for stamping, if you have something like this. So you see it's kind of a long, skinny stamp. Now, oftentimes you might place it on the block and it might get curved on accident. So can you see that? Okay, it's a little bit curved and it wouldn't stamp straight. So how you can avoid that is set it down. The smooth side is up. Okay, so that's its natural state. And I just pick it up with my block. And then that makes it so that it is straight and you're not going to have any problems. Now, I've told you time and time again that I'm not a perfectionist, but I also don't like things to be messy or ugly if they don't have to be. So that's just a little trick. There we go. Firm, even pressure. I love it. I love that pink ink. It's so pretty. And then the decorative stickers are super cute too. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is remove these stickers so that I can do the rest of Tuesday and Wednesday because it's a little bit difficult otherwise. So now I'm going to, Tuesday I have one activity and I already know that because you just saw me remove that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look at these decorative stickers. They're just so cute, aren't they? And I'm going to add this little gal because she's adorable. And I'm going to put her right down here at the bottom. She's so cute. Because I'm going to add my to-do list right here in the middle. Now, one of the things that I really, really love about a stamped checklist is that there's no edges, right? So sometimes you know how like a sticker will have edges when you meet the paper or whatever. This doesn't. It's just the paper. So it's always smooth. It always looks good. And I really like that. But obviously sometimes, as you guys know, I use stamps or stickers for these things, so no big deal. All right, on Tuesday, I do have a meeting, so I'm going to go ahead and use, let's go ahead and use this cute little snowflake. Now, I do like to offset these. I like the way it looks. You don't have to do that. You can absolutely add that straight inside the boxes if that works better for you. I'm leaving the time open because it actually hasn't been determined yet. I'll go back and write that in later when the time has been set. We're still sort of negotiating that at this time. Now, isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh, I just love it. So, so, so cute. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and move those sticky notes so I don't confuse myself, because I'm not gonna lie, I do often confuse myself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know what? Actually, I also have another activity in the morning that I was not thinking about. I'm going to look real quick and see if I have any telephone stamps or stickers. I'm sorry. I don't think I do, actually. Nope. Nope. Okay. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to use one of these super cute little clocks. I think we do have lavender this week, so I'm going to use the lavender. So now I've added that in right there. How cute is that? I just love it. All right, so what I'm going to do is something that, I don't know if I would, you know what? Let's just not even discuss it. I'm going to go ahead and put my to-do list again. I'm going to also just do it right in the center as well as I did on Tuesday. I just like it right there. Whoops, now you can see, if you look at that, this is a perfect example. I didn't provide the firm, even coverage on the block. I just was very hasty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just I don't know if this was what I did or not, but just go ahead, redo it. It didn't work because I clearly didn't line it up properly, but it's all right, no big deal. You can just do that, and if you paid attention and you know where the ink is, you can just re-ink it. Okay. So now I do have this appointment for my chimney, and so I'm going to pull out another little, I'm going to use the snowflake because, well, I'm having my chimney looked at, so it seems kind of appropriate to use a snowflake. And really it's my fireplace. I don't know why I keep calling it the chimney, but for whatever reason I do. Okay, so now I'm going to move my stickers so that I can pull out the second half of the week. Now, here we go. Now this is where I need to start thinking about where else my decorative stickers will go. So you know that I like to use the visual triangle. So here's the first point of my visual triangle with the decorative stickers, this cute, cute, cute little lady. And so thinking about that, I know that I'm going to add the other 2 points on this side. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add that. So I can add my little to-do list, firm, even pressure on the entire stamp. Remember, that's what got me in trouble over here, was that I did not do that. I was just hasty and added that. And then I think that I'm going to go a little crazy. I'm going to take this super cute little washi strip and let's try something, okay? I'm going to take my hexagon punch. It's a little big, so I've got to think this through a little bit. Let's see if it works, shall we? I've tried it with vinyl sticker paper and it does not work. My punch cannot punch through that, and so that's a little bit of a bummer. Okay, so now I did not do the whole thing, which is fine, right? Because see the top part, the sticker is still on there because it was from that other row. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to add this super cute, no, that's not the one I'm going to do. I'm going to add the snowman here for Saturday. Then I'm going to take the hexagon, the partial hexagon, and add it right there. Yes, it's covering her head a tiny bit. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one of those. Keeping in mind that it'll be the same thing because the hexagon punch is a little bit wider than the strips. You guys know that I constantly misplace things. Oh, there it is. Silly me. Okay. Now, up there. That's super fun. Now I had to be careful because I know that there's going to be a lot of things on Sunday. And what's kind of weird about that is that, okay, so there's 2 things there now, but I already know some games from the previous week. So for example, see these 2 rescheduled games, they're getting moved to here. So, well, they're not. Everything's just kind of getting shifted and pushed. But so there will be a game, a baseball game on this Sunday, and I already know that. So I did not want to add a big block of decorations on Sunday. I was safe to do it on Saturday because, see, I only have 1 here, and so I knew that would be okay. Now, the thing here is that I did below and I did upper. So I need my 3rd point for my triangle. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it down here and I'm going to cover where I did the stamping for my to-do list. There we go. And I'll just re-stamp my to-do list in the center box instead. Firm, even pressure throughout the entire stamp. There we go. Turned out great. So now again, remember, it's not necessarily meant to be a perfect triangle, okay? So theoretically, you'd have one up here, down, over, be a nice, beautiful right angle triangle. But that isn't important. It's just so that you could visually draw a triangle between those lines. And if I were not going to actually use this, I would show you, I would write on there with a pencil and show you the triangle. But because I'm going to use it, obviously I don't want to do that. So now I wanted to take a look at this and see if there was anything I could use, and there is. So there's these cute little flags. And I'm going to use that right up here. And I'm also going to add I know here somewhere in all these stickers, I have some nail polish bottles. So I'm going to use that for right here. Now, I did not write it on here, but my son has a, oh, never mind. I'm completely a week off. I was going to say my son has a dentist appointment. He doesn't. I'm totally not even with the picture. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this green one because it matches the adorable little snowman. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to pull out a cute little basketball icon. It's adorable, is it not? The dentist appointment is here. Obviously, I need to add that to that. So there we go. Now I can remove this sticky note. I'll just throw those away because I am finished. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go crazy here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe the ink off of this. Hands up if you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my stamps and I'm going to spell out itty bitty. For those of you that have been here in the past or have been following me for a while, you know that my son's high school baseball team sponsors a itty bitty baseball league for 2 to 5-year-olds. And so because I'm the Booster Club president, I sort of run that league, and this is the weekend that it starts. So you'll see that in my planner for the next few weeks. I could have done brush lettering for it, and I certainly have in the past, and I'm sure I probably will again, but I already had the alphabet stamps out, so why not use them? And I do really like them. These are high quality photopolymer, so they don't require any tricks or anything like that to get a good impression. It's not like some of the acrylic stamps that you have to prime them a little bit to get a better impression. And let me remind you all that if you are new stampers or not experienced stampers, that stamping is not exactly easy. It does take some practice, so don't get frustrated the first time you break them out and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not good at this. Nobody is. It's hard, and it requires a lot of patience and practice, but it's really worth it in the end because there's so much creativity to be had with the stamping. Now I'm going to do something that I do often, and I do this actually a lot with alphabet stickers as well, is that I'm going to stagger them now because I think it's playful and fun. And then the other bonus of that is that then you don't have to line them up perfectly either. And like I said, I think it looks really playful and whimsical, and I like that a lot. And so that's definitely one of the reasons that I do it. But I also recognize that it's very, very hard to line them up perfectly. And then sometimes you get frustrated if they're not perfect. And I mean, I doubt I would be frustrated unless it was terrible, but I get it. So I just wipe these off after each one because I'm really messy, and I would end up with ink on my fingers and then ink on the paper in places that I didn't want it. And so you don't have to do that. It's not necessary. The ink doesn't harm the stamps, but I'm just trying to save myself any frustration from that. So, okay, so you can see that I have itty bitty on there. It's one of those things that I don't feel the need to write any more than that. I'm perfectly well aware of what that entails and what that means. It's just a reminder to me that I have it. So if other things come up and I'm like, oh, can I do this on Sunday? No, I cannot do this on Sunday because if you'll recall, I have itty bitty. So now the other thing that I'm going to do is that, as you can see here, my son has a basketball game as well. And so what I'm going to do is add, let's see, let's go ahead and add this little blue tree. I'm going to add his basketball game here. And I'm going to get out the cute little basketball icon and place it first because I know that I want it right there in that corner versus on this side. So this way I can leave room for that. Now I write the information that I personally need for me on my sticker. So I've seen a lot of questions about, oh, how do you keep track of this? How do you keep track of that? For me, for example, the time, my son's initials, it's a game, not a practice, and this is the location. It's always in the same place. It's always at the same high school. So I don't need to write that. That's not important. But I can write the court number because there's 3 different courts. You can see here court 1 versus court 3. Then I know where to go at that specific high school. For me, the key is writing the details that aren't just intrinsic. So I don't need to write the exact location. It's always at the same high school. It never varies. Just like itty bitty, it's always at the exact same place. It's not necessary for me to write the place for that because it's always in the same place. Now for some of my high school sons' baseball games, I do write the location because it changes. And so that's important to me. But that's the thing, is for you to remember or to keep track of where the things that you need to keep track of and what makes sense for you. Now you can see I've got all the activities and the things that I already have pre-planned here on the page. Now there's still quite a bit of white space, and as I already explained to you, there's a couple of games that'll be here. I know that my son has practice one of these 2 days. It'll just depend on the weather, and so I will leave a little bit of space to be able to add that on whichever day. But you can see there's still a little bit of room. So, and I have some very, very cute washi that I want to add. So I'm going to, I used the pink last week. So I'm going to go back to the lavender. Oh my gosh, of course I just spilled that everywhere. Because why wouldn't I? All right, so I've got this really cute lavender and gold bow simply gilded washi, and it's like butter, this washi. It's so pretty. So I'm going to just go ahead and add that right down here at the bottom. Now, I like to use an X-Acto knife. I've been using this exact same X-Acto knife for years doing this, so it's not necessary for me to use something different, but I know lots of people like to use old gift cards or things like that to tear the washi. This just works fine for me, so that's what I use. Now I'm going to also add a little bit of washi up here at the top. Then I'm also going to carry it over right here. And what I like about that is that it kind of ties the 2 pages together, if you will. Now the discs obviously will be in the center, but you have that continuity between the 2 pages with that. And I like that. I think that's cute. So the washi, it's not overwhelming. It's not crazy. There's not a ton of it or anything. It's just a little bit, but it's very, very cute. So anyway, that is it for me for this week. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will do my best to get back to you. Thank you so much and make it a great day.